Knet role in enhancing e-payment for government sector in Kuwait. يتفضل السيد خالد أبو عباس, the Application Development Department Manager من Knet.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everyone. My name is Khalid Abu Abbas. I have 10 years experience in Knet company. I have started in Knet. I climbed the ladder from the junior developer, senior developer, up to my way to managing the department of the development and system development. Okay, Knet. I believe everyone here carry Knet brand in his wallet. Knet, the electronic banking service established in 1992. Knet, it's the central and local switch, or in fact the national switch of Kuwait that connect all local and foreign banks in Kuwait. So any bank in Kuwait, in order to use his card, serving his customer, need to connect to Knet to switch all the transactions and financial transactions, whether it's a point of sale, ATMs, or payment through the web. So we connect all local banks plus foreign banks. That's a timeline of Knet history from 92 up to date. In 92 we established Knet. In 95 we introduced the first point of sale in Kuwaiti market and first ATM driven by Knet. In 1997 we have joined and established the GCC Net, where we connect all GCC countries through a GCC Net brand. So if you use your card here, any card issued in Kuwaiti banks in any of the GCC countries, this transaction or financial transaction will come through Knet switch. And in 2004, we launched the payment gateway service. I believe now it's the trend, the mobile payment, the web payment. So we started in 2004 this service, and it was very basic at that time, very low traffic, but that's the time when it was born, 2004. 2008, we have started the Tested service for the government. We have partnered with the government to provide payment, secure payment for the government in 2008, up to date. In 2010, we have joined, or we have equipped all devices with EMV technology. The chip card on the plastic, 100%, it was completed in 2010 as 100% fully compliance with EMV, but we started the project in 2008 to comply with the Europe and MasterCard Visa standard and central bank mandates, which is in line with the GCC regulations. In 2011, we obtained the PCI certification with the payment card industry, which regulate and control and set the standard and regulation for the security. And 2012, we get KFAS award, and the growth is still going. That's Knet today. We do have 45,000 point of sale terminal. In fact, all point of sale terminals in Kuwait, which we usually call it a Knet device, connected to Knet, run, operate by Knet. We have 11 local banks, all local banks in Kuwait connected to Knet. We do have in our network more than 1,500 ATMs that's connected to Knet network, either through banks or directly to Knet. We are connected to 5 GCC switches, all GCC countries. Also, we have 7 foreign banks, which recently, starting from 2006, opened in Kuwait. Up to now, we have 7 banks. And we have more than 30 government agencies that we serve payments. And we have more than 700 web page that provide Knet service and Knet payment. So all these are connected to a central hub, which is Knet. So that's the services that we currently provide. For ATM, we do have, other than banks ATM, we do have more than 600 ATM that operate driven and managed directly to Knet. We process more than 1.7 million transactions a month. That's only a Knet transaction. That's directly hit Knet system running in our ATMs. That's connected direct to us. That's other than banks transactions. In fact, we dominate more than 30% of Kuwaiti ATMs. More than 30% of Kuwaiti ATMs is connected direct to Knet. We support different services on the ATMs. In Knet ATMs, we support multi-currencies, deposit function, transfer, mini statements, all the functions that we support to any bank that require those services. Point of sale, we have, as I said, 45,000 terminals, point of sale connected to Knet. We perform more than 500,000 transactions per day. We process those transactions from transaction processing, settlement, reconciliation, transferring the money, clearance with the banks, through central banks, through their accounts, debiting issuer, crediting acquirers. Knet is handling all this processes among the banks through central banks and through our 45,000 terminals spread all over Kuwait and different merchants. 2004, as I said, we introduced payment gateway, which is payment through the web. So it will enable all merchant or government or any service provider to collect funds from any customers through the web. That's being done through Knet. We do settle between the issuer of the card, which is the customers, and the acquirers, which is the merchant or the service provider. So we transfer the money from your direct account to his account when you do payment through the web. So in fact, there is no actual physical money like ATM has been dispensed here. We process more than, it's growing. We started processing first in 2004, 30 or 40,000 transactions per month. Now we have reached up to 1.4 million transactions for payment gateway in Kuwait, in our network. GCC-Net in 1997, we started GCC-Net. We do more than 7,000 transactions per day in our GCC network. We do have more than 160,000 cardholders using their cards in Kuwait. That's GCC citizens or GCC cardholders. And in 2014, we first introduced the GCC BOS. So currently, 2 switches, 2 countries is joining Knet as a GCC BOS. So if you use your card there, it will be considered as GCC, as a point of sale transaction, like you are doing this transaction in Kuwait. That's of course have many benefits. There is no exchange rate. Exchange rate will be central bank exchange rate, so there is no added fees. There is no risk because you are doing through secure network, not going through other interchange. It's through Knet. With transaction will be with PIN, transaction will be with card exist. We are using EMV technology. So that's the GCC Net. Next, we will introduce, or we are working now with the government with different, and also with some service and billers to introduce the bill payment. Bill payment through different channels in Knet network, on ATMs, in point of sale, or on payment gateway, or either from your mobile or smartphone. So that's explain, or just small graph will how we are connecting all member banks, Knet, and we have our utility payment bridge. This utility payment bridge is connected to different pillars, whether it's a government, government agencies, or a service provider, or any merchant, or any utility bills that you need to pay. We can connect the utility payment bridge to those agencies, and we acquire any bill, and you do the payment through Knet using your card. The channels will be available to do this bill payment is ATM, point of sale, a kiosk machine, or even an ACR, a cash register on any merchant. So why Knet? Why Knet? is the best approach to go for the government payment or government e-payments. Leadership. We do manage all point of sale in Kuwait. We do have and dominate more than 30% plus of Kuwaiti ATMs. Our position connecting all local banks, so no card issued in Kuwait and used in any point of sale or web page will not come through Knet. Using your card on any payment channel in Kuwait will be handled and routed to a central hub, which is Knet. So this position of Knet will allow her to, or will allow Knet to provide the best service to the government or to any other agencies. Innovation, we always try to keep with the latest technology, latest services, latest way of doing payment in the secure manner. Equality, most important things in our business is the quality of service. If you use your card on the point of sale and it doesn't work, then you'll just hide this card. You will find another way to do a payment, either to withdraw a cash or doing any other method. So we have to sustain and we have to maintain a quality of service. If any customer goes, if you go to this merchant trying to not to bring a cash and you are depending on your plastic card and you go there one time having your dinner and you try to pay by your card and doesn't work, then this is not a trustable way of doing a payment. Then we have to maintain the best standard of quality, so to gain the customer trust. Security, that's our topic for today, is security. So what Knet is doing to maintain and put the controls to maintain the best standard of security through its network, to be the best partners for merchants or the government to provide a secure transaction. We do have two security measures. We have internals, controls, and measures that we apply, either internally at Knet or through our members' banks and GCCnet. A set of controls and security measures and a spec that we have to follow and apply to whether our member banks or GCC network or our merchants. That's internally within Knet. And we have the second thing, which is the payment, following the best standard in the payment industry and obtaining the best certification and most respectable and reliable certification, which is BCI, DSS, ISO, and EMV. BCI, DSS have two also category. We have the BCI PEN and BCI, which we'll explain next in the presentation. First, we'll go, Knet is 100% EMV equipped in all its terminals. So any transaction acquired on Knet ATMs, Knet point of sale, it's 100% EMV, and this is a mandate by Central Bank of Kuwait and a GCC mandate. So we were the first in the Kuwait to apply this technology. Also, Knet is certified as BCI and BCI DSS BIN, where it's applicable to a financial institute to follow the best practice and best standard and controls regarding the payments. Also, we have the ISO certification. First, we'll give introduction about the payment card industry, the PCI compliance. It's a set of standards and rules and specifications and controls throughout all the payment process in the financial institution. So it's not only about the financial transaction, it's about storing the data, it's about accessing the information, it's about network security, it's about even the weakness of the management, how you manage data, how you manage employee, how you manage assets. So that's PCI. And it's required by all schemas, all brands, Visa, MasterCard, Amex. They do require to be, so you'll be a trusted financial institution if you obtain this PCI certificate, and Knet have gained this PCI certificate back in 2011. That's BCI requirement, network security, access control, monitoring, information security, data protection, and vulnerability of management. That's why we need, that's what any financial institution that gain BCI certificate will cover all these areas. Will have some controls and accessing information. Will have the right person to access the right information. This have to be monitored, have to be controlled. Information security. Knet position as handling and switching all these financial transactions. We do have very sensitive data. We have cardholder information. We have financial transactions. We have bin blocks of cards. So all these information need to be secured and transmitted securely encrypted and not to be stored, and accessing those information should be controlled and monitored. So nobody can hack, access, or use of those information for any fraudulent behaviors. BCI DSS, which is part of PCI, the payment industry, this PCI DSS will ensure the transaction processing and all the information during the transaction or after the transaction is secured and following the highest standards of security, not to be hacked or get published anywhere or transmitted in a non-secure way. PCI PIN, which is part of PCI also DSS, it's concerned about the PIN block, the PIN numbers that you hold and you remember that is not being exposed or skimmed or transmitted in a clear way in any Knet channel. So we do have apply some set of controls and measurement to ensure that those PIN that you are entering in either an ATM or point of sale or transmitted through a web page is not being skimmed from any skimmer or fraudulent. So it's not only about entering the PIN in the device. This is one part that we cover, that PIN pad should be secured, encrypted. PIN is not stored in the device. PIN is not transmitted through the transmission channel, is not being skimmed. And even when it's reached Knet system, it's not being stored in a clear way or can be accessed. So your PIN number, once you enter it, it is transferred from the device through a channel to Knet system to the bank that issued the card. So all these need to be handled, and there is security measure and controls need to be applied to ensure no skimming is happening on the your PIN. So PCI PIN, it's concerned and apply those sets of rules for this. And we do have obtained this PCI PIN certification. Why we need all this? Compromising card number, PIN is being raised every year with the skimmer, fraudulent, finding new ways, new technology. With the advance of the technology, they always find a new way to hack, to skim your card, to either have some hacking to the machine itself, hacking through the network, or accessing the information from the database, hacking database. They always find some way to get those information. So with the rise of this compromising, and in fact 70% of all the data breaches and compromisation happening internally, this is a statistics in financial institution, more than 70% of any database breaches happening internally within the institution. That's why we do apply the PCI standard to have the set of controls internally also of accessing those information. And also, it's a business requirement. When we connect to other schemas like Visa, MasterCard, they do require, and the financial institution will be much more reliable when it does have this BCI certificate and can be respectable with any schemas like Visa, like MasterCard. When you own this PCI certificate, they will ensure that they are connected to a secure channel or secure interface. So those three reasons makes or push Knet or push any financial institute to obtain this PCI certificate. We are following the best practice that's internally. What we do internally, any bank, any new bank or any financial institution want to connect to Knet, we require that they provide a certificate. We require that they provide some testing and what controls that they apply in their systems to ensure that even nothing is hacked or compromised from their side. So we do have our spec and requirement for any financial institution like banks, service provider, or even a merchant want to connect to Knet network or have a Knet service. We do require some set of rules and a spec to be applicable in their systems before we go live. Also, we do test, certify online on test system. We do have a test system replicated to whatever in production environment. So all those ATMs, point of sales, payment gateway, payment through the web, you will find that you are doing now, today. We do have a copy of it as a test system. So any bank, any institute want to join Knet network, we do perform a set of tests, set of requirements, set of security, exchanging keys, encryption. All this is done in the test system prior to going live. So they need to obtain a Knet certificate. Any institute, any bank, any financial institute or service provider, he will obtain a Knet certificate in the test system prior to going to live environment. Also, we perform regular monitor to our partners. So we do always check their connectivity, their encryption. We do check the interfaces. We monitor the exchange of the messages, the electronic messages between Knet and those financial institutions. We do have our monitoring tools, either for ATM, for point of sale, to monitor any errors, any compromised. We have our risk parameters. So we do always monitor those transactions. Knet is applying also the highest standard of the payment industry. If you've noticed that all Knet cards ask you for a PIN, it's a mandate by Knet. All Knet transaction using Knet card must have PIN authorized. Card exists, so you cannot do a Knet payment transaction remotely, or you call someone and you just give him your card number and you do a Knet payment. So you have to exist with the card, putting or inserting or injecting your PIN number. That's a requirement by Knet in order to authorize your transaction. So that's make Knet a secure and minimize the compromisation or any fraudulent on Knet network or skimming Knet cards. Also, all these any raised, we do have a set of claims and dispute. So any claims, any dispute raised by any customer, it's always saved with a Knet network, by Knet. So card is happening or transaction is conducted in Knet, controlled by Knet, and any dispute resolved by Knet. That's what makes Knet a secure network to conduct any financial transaction. Previously, we talked about the security measure we apply inside Knet.
سيد خالد.
We have EMV. That's the other that we talked previously. It's the internal measures and controls that Knet takes to ensure the security of the information. And we have the external measures. External measures, we apply EMV. EMV is a Europay and MasterCard Visa. That's a chip card inserted in your bank card. we apply this as issuer or acquirer. So all our devices equipped with a technology that can read those cards, and cards issued with Knet schema. So any plastic card carry a Knet schema in the back should have this chip card. Previously you have the magnetic, now we have the chip. Magnetic, it's easy to copy, it's easy to compromise, it's very limited in the storage, it can handle only one application of payment. Chip card is very hard to copy. It have a offline bin authorization, so if you put your card, we can authorize the bin within the machine. No bin has need to be transmitted all the way to our system. That's why it's much more secure. Also, you can inject the chip card with more than one application, loyalty application, reward application, other than the payment application that you are doing, the Visa, MasterCard, or Knet. So chip card have more options, more security, very hard to copy. So we are applying the chip card. We also have the ISO standard, ISO 27001, which is all sets and controls that control not only the financial transaction, but also assets management, risk management, controls within the database. So it will look at the security, even backup, even backup plans for if, let's say, something happened with our system, some maybe natural disaster happen, some storm happen in our location, how we can operate, and we move our operation to other site without affecting our services. So ISO standard will have this. So all these adherence by Knet to all this security, either internally or having those international certificate and the standard like PCI, ISO, or EMV, will qualify Knet to be the best partner to the government to provide electronic secure payment. As I said, 2008, that's what make Knet the best choice to the government, to partner with the government, to provide different services. Currently, we have the Tasdeed service. We have more than 2,400 point-of-sale terminals all over government agencies. We process now more than 200,000 transactions per month. We provide services to different financial and different government agencies. 200,000 transactions per month, 2,400 point-of-sale terminals, 20 websites for the government. And we have the e-stamp service. We have those kiosk machine where you can buy now e-stamp. So no more those stamp that you will try to find the cash to get those stamp and you put it in your paperwork or any government paper. So we have this e-stamp where you can use your Knet card, issuing an e-stamp, and this e-stamp will be stick to your paperwork and can be validated systematically through Knet server. So this is automated. E-stamp will be an automated mechanism to validate a stamp. That's the e-stamp and payment gateway and point of sale growth in Kuwait for the government. So in 2008 we started from zero. Now we've reached more than 250,000 transactions per month, providing all the services and financial secure transaction to the government. Thank you.
شكرا سيد خالد.